Welcome to Obscured Reality with Mark and Stephanie. From UFO sightings to the lost city of Atlantis, from alien encounters to the living dead, each episode will leave you questioning reality. If you're ready to explore the eerie, tune in to Obscured Reality, where mysteries come alive.
Googling something here.
So I pulled up the map, and I'm sure this was taken and this stuff was added in. Of course, you can see, but they're just trying to give us the distance here.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows if 30 years ago there was an actual road, an access road to this point. There's one right beside of it, and a few houses, but from 250 yards away. So now we're in between 2 and 3 football fields.
Mm-hmm.
From that distance,
How far is a football field? How many yards or feet?
100 yards. And actually, if you include the 2 end zones, so it would be 120 yards. But a straight track on a straight stretch on a track is 100 meters. 100 meters is 110 yards. So same, one and the same, meters and yards. But as far as feet, it's 3 times of So it'd be like 600 and some, almost 700.
200 meters. I did the calculation on it. It's approximately 650 feet. So it's a little bit more.
So 243 yards or 243 meters. 243 yards is 220 meters. So at 220, so that is, you're looking at 2 football fields plus another half of a football field.
Mm-hmm.
So if a person stands on a goal line, and I can tell you from playing, if I'm standing on a goal line and I'm looking at somebody else standing on the other goal line, which is rare, they're usually at the 35 when they kick off. It's still a challenge. Now, with the helmets on and whatnot, it doesn't really matter. But if we're trying to gauge distance in shooting, we use what we know and what we're used to. And so we go in the back of our minds and think, well, I've been on a football field all my life. I know how far 100 yards is. And so that's what I use, or on a track. So a track, it would be one straight stretch and a half of, or the entire turn. That's 200 meters. Mm-hmm. It's a 400 meter track. So four laps is a mile. So the 200, if you were to take 2 straight stretches and put them together and then add a half of another one, that is far. That's
pretty fucking far.
I can see that if these puppets had big heads, that they could make that out.
With those heads, you could make that. You would see. I mean, those eyes were huge. At least the areas around the eyes were huge. The eyes were, a little smaller, but you're not going to differentiate the whiting in the eyes with how dark the surrounding area of each eye was. I mean, it's easily.
Even some of them had different descriptions.
Yeah,
that weren't similar, and I think they were influenced by things. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to.
Yep. No, I agree.
I'm not trying to debunk what you're saying. This is so far the best explanation I've heard, but it's also, I got to say at this point, I'm more impressed with your research than I am. You don't need to ask me another thing about that.
Honestly, I think they were definitely influenced. I think they were influenced by the week or so prior with how much UFOs, alien craft and aliens were in the news and on the radio that they were hearing. And then you heard that one radio program was asking for people to come talk to them, to be on the radio for their sightings. And then you have the re-entry of that rocket coming in and, just disintegrating in the atmosphere. And so now imagine being that age, like that's going to be in your head, especially in a place like Africa where you're probably more prone to folklore than you are like in America, little intricacies like that. So things like that might be more believable at that time, at that age and time to those kids. And now imagine coming out, it's 10 in the morning and you're taking your break, dude. Right where they saw this sounds like and there were dirt roads there. There was even a little tiny shop, like a stand that was right next to the school. And the lady running that shop, She's the only one who said she thought the kids were making this all up. But so there was some things right there, and the town's not that far. That sounds like the perfect place to drive in, set your stuff up, open the van up, whether it's an Airstream or it's that little VW bus. How could you account for an alien or someone or something being on top of it? Easy to get the luggage off the top, to get your items you're bringing with you. You're going to use some of that for storage because you got 3 or 4 people in this van. Makes total sense there'd be someone on top. Could there have been an Airstream? Airstreams were in Africa. There was actually some type of trailer sales place very close to the school. They're selling trailers in the area. I would bet they had at least one Airstream. Who knows? But were they driving around in trucks with Airstreams? I mean, you think this is South Africa. Where are you going to sleep? You're driving long distance to go to the next rural area.
Yeah.
Airstream makes perfect sense. Now, I'm not saying it was. I think it most likely was probably one of those mini buses, because that's very common in what we see in the video and everything. And that's what they even said. They were definitely using some of those. But it makes total sense to me that most likely what happened is they saw these people out there probably setting up, getting ready for the show, setting up their big, huge costumes that these people are going to wear and go walk down one of the main streets. And that's what they saw. They talked about them walking back and forth, coming through the trees. You have the trees blocking your angles and your viewing and everything. Makes total sense. And I don't know why others are not talking about it. I think I do know why. It's because they want to leave you hanging. They want you to think it's something more so they can keep going with it. But let's prove it. This is like 98% for me. I mean, you can't get to 100 without actual proof, but I don't see how it could be anything else. I mean, they definitely saw something. Everybody,
you sure about that?
Well, obviously I'm not 100% sure about that, right?
Yeah,
I think they definitely saw something. I think they saw something. There's 62 kids. I get the younger brain. I get the, interference from other kids and being impressionable and all that. But out of 62, if there really was nothing there, I don't think you would get every single one saying they saw stuff. Some of
unless
them,
unless there was an older kid that pointed it out and convinced a few others that went along with the. Remember what I said about the Iraq, being in Iraq and being at the checkpoint because we were bored and you were, what's that? And they turn around and start shooting, and it's, and I don't know what the term is, but it's the mass hysteria effect of one person points it out and that person's a credible friend to the rest of the, or maybe an older kid, but it can influence a lot of them. This is why, and this is the reason why. This is the reason that I have a problem with the whole thing. Not what we're talking about. And we'll go back to that. When they investigate an interview when they're leaning one way already, they'll omit stuff. They'll leave out stuff. They could have very well, if this was a case, they should have known about this. I mean, if you found out about this by doing the research, they should have known this was a program somewhere. The people down there should have. It's not like they would not have seen this before.
But it
because it was 7 years old.
It doesn't play to what Cynthia Hine does.
That's what I'm saying.
Plays against it.
And so when they omit stuff that would make sense, they try to convince people more so that it was real. And even adults that are credible. I mean, you heard what she said. This is might be the most credible thing of the 20th century. Well, and her name's on it. And so, which was my issue with Linda Moulton Howe and some of the others. But go ahead.
No, so, I completely agree. I do think they really saw something. What that was, we're probably never really going to know. I think this is the most likely explanation because, those costumes were designed to be racially unidentifiable, grayish faces. You see how big the eyes were, you see how big the heads were. Now imagine that from 650 feet away. I think it's totally plausible, especially being, you know, in or behind this grouping of trees. Now you have some of the vision is blocked. They're moving behind things. You got the trailer or the minibus that's back there from different angles. Part of that's going to be blocked out. It might look more spaceshipy if, say, the front of it's blocked out. There's probably a lot of brush. From everything I've seen, there's a lot of brush and stuff in the area as well. Well, yeah, no wonder they're drawing tires. And if they think what they're seeing is a flying saucer or something similar that has set down on the ground, but they can't see the wheels or the landing gear because of all the brush, they're going to just fill in the blanks when they draw the sketches. I would think if it's landed, well, let me draw the legs. Well, did you actually see the legs? Well, no, because there's a lot of tall grass and weeds. I didn't see that.
I could give them that because they're kids.
Yeah,
I could give them that because they're kids,
exactly.
But some of them drew it up in the air.
Yes,
and some of them, and I think there was so much influence.
Yes,
that it took something like this and to spark something that, and we don't know. And maybe, and I have a hard time believing that not one teacher or one employee or one adult looked out the window to see if that was other kids playing pranks, if that was something, if that was a helicopter that crashed, if it was anything. I'm surprised that one adult didn't look out, and maybe one did and told the investigators, and the investigators left that out.
Yep, and that's where the shitty investigation comes in, because I can't imagine, and also real quick, I'm going to share my screen again right now. That's where that should have come in the investigation. The first thing they should have done is talk to the adults, been like, did any of you see this? No. Did any of you look at the windows when they came in, all screaming and yelling at you? No or yes. That's one of the first things. So check this out. You're asking about a map. This is the closest I could get. So first, here's the area. Totally tall brush around the area school. You're not going to see landing gear or the wheels from that distance unless it's not flat and it's downhill. You know, the right angle, maybe you can. They even draw the tall grass in there. I mean, look at this kid in there. Now imagine seeing him 650 feet away sitting there in all that.
I was going to say, that's not,
you might not notice him. Now imagine, instead of that kid standing there, imagine that VW minibus or an Airstream trailer. So much of it's going to be blocked out, and it's going to look different. It's going to look weird to a mind that can't conceptualize that stuff yet because they've never seen the stuff at 6 years old up to 12. That stuff's so tall.
With the brush and with the trees.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Branches are knocked down. Yeah. Well, I mean, that accounts for wheels too.
And 250 meters away.
Yep.
That's not a good depiction right there because we don't know.
Here's a diagram.
Yeah. There should be a better one in there that actually has the distance, because none of these so far are 250 meters.
They're not that great. I did see one. I cannot find it. I was trying to find it earlier too. I did see a good kind of generalized map of a view, an actual picture view from how far. And who is this?
That's the guy
John
they
Mack.
interviewed.
That's John Mack?
No, that's the guy.
That's the headmaster.
Okay, we said head of Harvard, John Mack.
That's John Mack on the right.
Let's be him.
Yeah, that's him.
What's that look like in the background? It's like a VW minibus to me. I did see one that had a good view, and I could not find it again because I really wanted to include it.
Okay,
but here's a good view.
Stop right here for a second. If you're looking okay, so if you look down the road.
Yep.
So if you look down the road where the bend starts and you lose track of, right there. So that's probably the distance that
you think that's about 650 feet.
I think that's probably,
I think that's way less.
That's probably, if you look at that, if it looks like there's a vehicle on the road. That looks like it's about 250 meters away.
Let me see if I can.
I don't know what that
Yeah,
is.
it looks like there is. It looks like a vehicle, but you
Yeah.
got to remember this is also from a camera, so it's gonna,
Right.
you know,
And
objects in the
that's
air
why
are
it's going to be
closer
hard
than they appear
so
to judge.
I have a video of, no, that may be close. That may be closer.
I think it's
A lot,
very close.
when you zoom in, that may be a lot closer.
Yeah, I think it's very close. If you were actually sitting there, it's not going to look like this. It's going to be very close. I think the 650 feet is more, and I'm probably wrong, but more-ish, at least around where this big kind of whitish patch is, or farther maybe. I could be totally off.
Could you imagine a person standing there, even with the big head, and even a van, an Airstream sitting back there, that you're going to be able to
in all the brush, in the trees.
Yeah,
it's difficult. Look, the school is just surrounded by vegetation. I saw one earlier and I didn't pull it out, and I went back and tried to find it, and it was a view like this one, but it was from the school out in the direction. And I remember it was kind of downhillish. It was a little hilly, kind of downhillish, and it was far. That 650 feet was far. So I don't know. Overall, my opinion, from everything I've read on this over the years, I think they definitely saw something. I think mass hysteria has a role in this, with the whole, flying saucer and that they're aliens. I think that the week to 2 weeks prior, where it was all over the TV and the news in the area about UFOs and aliens, played a role. I think the re-entry of the Russian rocket played a massive role, because that was only 2 days before. So they already got flying saucers and aliens on the brain. Then 2 days prior, you get the rocket re-entry that is just disintegrating in our atmosphere. We all know how that looks. It's crazy looking. And then 2 days later, these kids are out there. Something gets their attention, some of the kids, to this area, and they see what they think is a alien spacecraft and aliens running around. I think they definitely saw something. What? Who knows? My firm opinion now is this is probably what they saw. They were in the area at the time, throughout Africa, Zimbabwe as well. From everything you can find, it seems like they probably were in the Zimbabwe area, and it makes sense they'd be going and setting up just out of the town where it's a little more rural, setting up their stands, puppet booths, putting on their costumes, getting ready to go walk down the streets. They scared adults. The whole intention was getting attention to the show, to get these people to come watch. I also saw a drawing where one of these kids drew these like 3 balls in the sky right there at the trees, right about the tree height. Who's to say they probably didn't have some type of balloons, big round balloons on long strings to help get more attention?
But if they're trying to get attention, why are they pulling up into somewhere where there's nobody? Because they would have seen other people. If they saw those people, there would have been other people around.
Not necessarily. If they're pulling up if they pull up just to the outskirts so they can set up and stuff without being seen, their main point was a lot of these to get in costume and then go walk down the main streets of these little towns to get the attention. It was all not publicized. They did not indicate they were coming. It was, they showed up, like you said, Stephanie, it was a surprise. They set up and then they go do their thing to get attention. And we read in the article they're using, marimbas and drums also in some of them to do that. So it would make sense they might set up just outside of like the main road, where they're not really going to be seen. So they have time to set up, get these things on, and then go walk that and get people to follow them over there and do this. But I mean, it's anyone's guess. We don't know. I mean, this is so long ago. I don't think we're ever going to figure it out.
So, first of all, I applaud the research and the effort that you put into this. I know I asked about the video. Just to make the video is impressive. And
He's saying that because there's a downfall coming.
yeah,
Oh,
it's one of that. But,
no.
yeah, but no, it's the plausible explanations when you're dealing with kids, and we have the same problem with adults when it comes to eyewitness testimony. It's the most unreliable testimony there is, because regardless, you're influenced. And so if they were to ask me, like you said about drawing a house, you're still going to draw it the same way.
Yep.
And a lot of that is your ability, your lack thereof, as an artist. But the fact is that you're depicting what your mind says onto, putting a dwelling with a roof, with a door, with probably a windows. You might have a bush out there and a sidewalk and a driveway, maybe a garage and a car. But that's how your mind perceives it. If these kids go back to 1994, if they're seeing things on TV when they're home, and some of these things that are already in their mind, couple that with the fact that all it takes is them to be put into a classroom where one kid that they all look up to says something, and then that automatically influences all of them to follow along. I do have a hard time, and I'm really trying to not be skeptical. Well, I am skeptical. I'm trying not to just rain on the parade, but I have a hard time believing that not one adult looked out the window.
I do too.
And saw, and I can't tell you, I was trying to pull something up there, how difficult it is. It wouldn't do me any good to go outside or to go to somewhere that's 250 meters away, 250 yards away, 220 meters away and take a picture, because I can't, you have to see that for yourself to see how difficult it is to see from that distance. And all I can say is, just go to Google Earth above your house and get you a distance of 220 meters, and then go out and see what is around there that you can make out. And you'll see how difficult that is. Now, I think that the comment coming back in, that the combination of the radio station, that the time, and the fact that they originally, I shouldn't say they made us to believe, it was depicted that this was a rural area out in the middle of the desert, that nobody, and these were well-to-do kids. This was a private school. This was, they had access at home. They had HBO. They had cable. They'd seen these videos or the movies at home. They knew what these things were. They knew how to describe them. But to me, what blows it all to pieces, it doesn't matter what the kids say today. Right. Because what they say today, they've been living with since back then. That's irrelevant. What to me absolutely tears this whole thing apart is when they start talking about the telepathic communication. That if you look at any B-rated alien type sighting or encounter that was on any movie, that's the message. And that's where when they start, I mean, I can understand kids not being able to draw exactly what they saw. This is why the investigators are so good at doing this, and whoever investigated this, it was not. Now, I know the one tried to do her due diligence, but the fact is that they have more of they're more to blame than the kids are. I mean, I don't blame the kids for, if it was I think, in my mind, I think they saw what you're talking about, this puppet show. I think they saw that. I don't know if they saw it right then and there, but it certainly influenced what they saw, or maybe what they thought they saw.
Right.
And I mean, when I looked at the map I pulled up and showed you, it looked like it was a driveway that went up to about 2 or 3 houses, and that right before you got to the houses off to the right in the woods is where they claim that they saw this. And
sounds about right.
I'm just not sure that if your idea, if you're, you know, if you want to shock and awe the people of pulling up and setting up and then walking down the street, and then that, I mean, this is, you know, if you look at the area, how many people were they going to affect?
Not many.
Yeah, and
Not at the
so
time. I mean, not even now.
Well,
It's still
yeah,
small. At the
Yeah,
time, it was.
it is. But that's the thing. They were going anywhere and everywhere they could, especially the rural areas where they might have less education on this stuff. Because I mean, you guys, I'm sure you recall the whole AIDS pandemic thing or epidemic,
yeah,
and what was going on. And, you know, the ideas was it all started in Africa and blah, blah, blah. It was a big thing over there. May still be.
yeah. It still is.
You know, I mean, this is if you go look at a bunch of different articles you read up about this traveling puppet program, these are the exact types of areas they went to. Very rural areas. They even went to mines, the article said. Lots of different places, regular cities, rural places. If you look at them, that one map I pulled up that was weird looking, more like a drawing almost, or something done on a computer. Um, the landing area is right at this fence line right next to a road. There's a path there. So, I mean, I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I completely agree. Or they're power lines. I'm sorry. Those are power lines. Um, I
Well,
think it
even with
all.
power lines, you can drive. I mean, they cut out the areas where the vehicles can go up. I mean, if you notice the big power
Yeah.
lines that we have in the U.S., you might have the woods, and then you'll have a cutaway where because they have to go up and service them
Hmm.
from time to time. So
Yeah.
uh, I'm not.
It-
You know, I I'm I'm more. First of all, let me ask you this: how did you find out about the puppet show?
It was in the article, just reading the Wikipedia article, and then I went and read other ones, and it's right there. But the thing is, it's so minuscule. It's this one little sentence, and I have a feeling that's why it's not really being brought up because this probably, I think this probably played a big part of it, whether they set up there or not. We know there was a little shop there, so there was things there, but it was in the article. It mentioned it how that was one possibility. It could have been this, and they provide nothing on that. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's there. It's been there because it came up a long time ago. It sounds like, but you never hear anybody talking about it, which is interesting because, when you look at those
It
creatures.
sure looked like it. I can tell you when Steffi and I saw the reaction for the one with all the spots or dots on it, looked just like that giraffe comment that
Oh,
we had
that
thought.
I didn't get what you were saying. I got it now. Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
the one that we thought looked like a giraffe that had all
Mhm.
the spots on it looked
Yep.
exactly like that one puppet. And the comment about the eyes and it looks, and from a distance, um, you're gonna be able to see that better than you are gonna be able to see a 2 or 3
Yeah.
foot person or even I thought you were going to tell me it was like pygmies or something like that that you had researched, and there was a tribe of pygmies doing something over there, and that's what they saw. But yeah, they would
Yeah.
better be able to see this. It's just um, I'm more impressed with the effort and and the digging in and the making of the video and the possibility. This is certainly more of a possibility than it's easier to convince people of this or explain that this might be the issue rather than say, well, it could have been a prank, somebody playing a prank. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to say, but let's find that person or there's got to be more than
Yeah.
that. I mean, somebody comes out and says they pranked it. Well, if they pranked it, then there's a lot of stuff that went into them putting something there that looked like a craft, that looked like and and it's just so yours makes more sense than anyone.
Yep.
I'm
So
still,
far.
My final thought
yeah,
is
Yeah.
the same as yours, Mark. That is the most likely possibility. Granted, the given data, facts, pictures, videos that we've seen as terribly I guess tainted as the interviews may have been. Uh, I feel like just from even outside of all of that, like that, just from the drawings, like that,
Right.
the drawings to me say more than the words actually do because they're like, oh, Jimmy said this, but like if they're actually drawing, they all kind of drew the same but different. Excuse me, stuff.
Quite a few of them were similar. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why
Especially the craft.
I have to agree on your
But-
side. Like that's the most plausible given the data.
Even the
That's
drawings,
my final
though,
thought.
yeah, they're hard to go off of because you know there's one original one, but they had too much time to congregate, talk to each other before being interviewed. Who knows how
True.
much later those drawings were done? I think that might have been when Mac came out. Maybe it was Cynthia Hind. No, because she was looking at some of them a few days later.
So then
But
they were done.
together in groups. You know, you got to get out. Something that massive. I mean, she was there pretty quick. I mean, we're talking South Africa. I don't know where she came
Zimbabwe.
from. UK. She
I thought
was
it
in
was Zimbabwe.
Well,
I thought she came from London. Didn't she
Yeah,
say
I think
something
it
like
was
that
the
happened
UK.
in the British?
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
Did
think it was
this
UK.
happen-
Wales.
but didn't this happen in Zimbabwe or South Africa?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm saying where did
yeah,
Cynthia Hind travel
Zimbabwe.
from? I think she traveled from the UK. So she was there fairly quickly. It was just two or 4 days later, which is good. But
Which is still all it takes is one night for these kids to go home
It is
and
Zimbabwe.
talk
It's not
about
fucking
this.
South Africa. Stop saying that.
Yeah.
Zimbabwe is in
is-
Southern Africa.
Okay, South Africa
not
is
in
an
South
actual
Africa, is it?
country.
Yeah,
It's in Southern Africa.
Southern Africa.
Whatever.
There you
It's
go.
above South Africa. It's
Hey, let me
beside
ask you this.
Mozambique.
Did you know what I meant?
Not the point.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
not going to be that person that says Africa. When I say this country, I'm going to say Africa. When I
Is it
mean
not-
this country,
yeah.
I'm going to say Africa. I'm not going to be that person. I'm sorry.
It's in Southern Africa.
It's
Zimbabwe.
taken me 30 years to realize that Rhodesia is no longer Rhodesia. It's and that they've changed half of the names in Africa. I didn't, I have not.
I genuinely enjoy looking at globes I find in thrift stores just to see how Africa is broken up and named to see how long ago that globe was made.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. The way that the British colonized and took over and then lost
Oh,
all
yeah.
of their land back. And then even recently, Somaliland broke off from Somalia. So they're two totally different now. So like looking at older maps, I really enjoy checking out Africa to see exactly how it's broken up because there's, British Africa. Sometimes there's a little bit of German. There's Dutch down south, which eventually turned into actual South Africa, sir. So yeah,
Come to think of it, the things over your left shoulder, Stephanie, kind of look like those alien heads.
Ooh, shrunken alien heads. What? My hat?
Yeah, well, I can't tell what's next to that hat.
Yeah, the
Those
one
gray
next to the
things.
hat, half the hat, the gray one, like the third thing over.
Oh, that.
That looks like an alien head from here.
It looks like the
wait.
like
This
thing they
one?
used to wear during the
This
play.
one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay,
That one.
that's that is a gray hat that has a shit ton of lanyards hanging off of it from all the different like shows that Matt and I have
I
worked.
think we need to take a trip to
Nope.
South Africa wearing that hat. We could get an alien store and going
No.
right away.
This hat is your South African one. You're gonna want
Yeah.
full protection from that sun.
Well, I think here's the conclusion. For me, my opinion, I think they probably did see something. I think this is probably what they saw. Obviously, I could be wrong. I also agree that I think there's two possibilities. I think it's that, or like you said, Jared, a very good chance they didn't see anything at all.
I
Well,
don't believe
or
that.
could
I
have.
believe they saw
not.
something. I agree
Power
with
of
you.
suggestion into mass hysteria, please heavy into this.
If you want to look at this as a good possibility of what happened, obviously there's still things that can't be explained. Like some of the kids are saying they saw it actually come down out of the sky and land and then take off. We don't know if that's just embellishment because, hey, why would there be a flying saucer there? Well, it had to come out of the sky. So now they're thinking about that. So now they're saying that it came down from the sky. There's things that we're not going to be able to even come close to providing somewhat of an answer. But it boils down to what we've always been saying. PFEs, proof, facts, evidence. We don't see a lot of that being displayed in most of the articles and documentaries that you see on this stuff. And it just goes to show there is most likely not only a plausible explanation, but a possible explanation that is 10 times more plausible than aliens and
agree.
life from somewhere else, extra dimensional, another solar system. The possibility of that happening at 340 million miles an hour at the speed of light. You know, you got to use some goddamn common sense, and too many people don't. It's about the truth and what's happening, because the day and age we're living, there's not a lot of common sense going around right now, it feels
Or
like.
truth.
And especially on this entire topic. And you're going to get the Corbells and people like that going on something like this, claiming aliens.
And then not even that, but just like lying to people, blatantly stealing their money to take them on trips to watch planes drop flares. Like, like I said, like truth. That's in
God, we
truth.
can't get started on
No
career.
truth, no common sense. Yeah, like let's go steal their money and we'll have them not watch planes drop flare. No, that's totally not a plane dropping flares. That's a UFO.
If you haven't seen that letter that Stephen Greer wrote to Donald Trump, you have to read that letter.
Oh no!
It'll make you. Everything that we have thought about Stephen Greer, it will confirm that this guy is. I mean,
he's
he
a class
is.
act, man.
Yeah, you want to talk about a masterclass in being a narcissist, and I'm better than everyone else.
Holy shit! I do have to read this now.
And all you have to do is you pull up the letter and just read the final two sentences at the bottom. He says, "I am the world's leading expert in this area, and there's none closer." And
one narcissist kissing ass to another narcissist.
I know what you're talking about.
Yep. Yeah. It's sad that. So, let me give you my take on this. I do think they saw something. I think there was a lot of influence with what went on and the time and if you look at everything that went on, the biggest draw for me is that this is no different than when Lou Elizondo or Linda Moulton Howe, when they take it from one angle and they're not true investigative journalists, or they don't, I mean, there's a difference in the two. One's a journalist and one is I'm going to say it, to me, in my opinion, is a fraud. And either way, they're trying to make people believe something.
Yeah.
And that again, that's my biggest problem with David Paulides, is that when you leave out stuff that explains it, you specifically leave that out, knowing, and he knows better. And so I don't want to get off on that. I'll say this. Yeah. I do think they saw something. I think your explanation is the most credible one that I have seen so far. And I'm not saying that they didn't, that I believe that that would make more sense than anything that has been said so far. So you have convinced me at least that they saw something, because until this point, I didn't think that they saw anything at all. I thought it was one person that suddenly, what's that? And then all of a sudden you have all your 5 dogs turn and look, and they start growling, and one barks, and then the others start barking. Next thing you know, they're attacking the neighbor for no reason, because you wanted to. And so they, it's just, the point is that I do think they saw something. You've convinced me that they saw something. So I have come to that. And I'm just, again, I appreciate the way you put that together.
Hey, someone's got to do it.
Well,
because clearly everybody else doesn't do it. I'm not referring to you guys. I'm referring to everyone else who looks at this stuff and puts the shit out there. Sneezing Monkey does a good job. He on the stuff he does a good job. But
it goes back to what I said, or what you said about the proof, the evidence, and with me saying extraordinary claims.
Yeah, pull that microphone a little closer. You got quiet there.
I'm sorry. I haven't seen. Yes. I haven't seen. Oh, I was right up in it there, wasn't I? I sounded like Barry White.
Oh, it sounds a lot better.
Love is in the air.
When you're sitting back, you get
every time we
get
step
quieter.
Yeah, no, it's. I'm still getting used to this whole thing, as you can tell. My camera's trash. So. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and I put this out there to anyone, and I'm not anybody that anyone needs to prove anything to, but until somebody whether it's Bigfoot, whether it's the Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, UFOs, aliens, Skinwalker Ranch. I stop at the paranormal because I don't put those in the same category. The paranormal is different in a sense that people are in tune with different things, and I do believe that when the hair stands up on there's a reason, and some people are more in tune than others. I do believe that. I don't believe in exorcisms. I don't believe in, but because I don't believe in it doesn't mean that there's not something there. There's not something wrong with the person. And the power of suggestion,
yes,
like we talked about.
The power of belief and suggestion are strong. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no one has yet, whether it's Lou Elizondo or any of this David Grush, notice none of them have proven a single thing. All it would take is one piece of evidence to turn this table on for most people. Yeah. One piece of evidence, and this can't all just be about national security and about classified documents and about top secret clearances. And so I don't buy that a bit.
Yep, I'm with you. I agree.
Wow.
So I don't know. I mean, I think another big point this goes to show, and we'll wrap it up. It's not that hard to do some research when you're hearing a bunch of bullshit, or you're hearing a bunch of stuff you think might be bullshit, or maybe you don't think it's bullshit, but it definitely sounds too good to be true. This day and age, with the internet and now with AI helping out on your searches, which I found, by the way, and you go on Google and you go to search for something like this, it pulls up way more and way better, more accurate info than it was prior to them incorporating it not that long ago into Google.
So fun fact, if you don't want AI to help you, swear while talking. Be like, hey Google, what's the fucking weather? And it won't pop up your AI results. Just FYI.
Really?
Yes. Swear at Google.
Why is that? I missed something there.
I don't know. So if you say...
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Those AI pop-up results that come before the searches when you say, like, hey, what's the weather? And it pops up with, like, the AI answer as to what the fucking weather is going to be or whatever you asked it. If you swear in, like, as part of the question, it doesn't show the AI because the AI can't understand the swearing.
I'm gonna test that right now.
Yeah, that's
fucking do it,
dude. That's what Matt does. He said, "What's the fucking something" earlier today, and like Google Straight just like gave him the answer, like in form of website.
Mm-hmm. AI is too uppity to answer if you swear at her, like Alexa.
Siri won't answer me either when I swear at him.
You know what?
Yeah, I'm trying it right now.
We need a 5-minute segment. I say we need, like I'm part of the show now.
Yeah, you are.
Guys, so just from my standpoint, what we need is a 5-minute segment at the beginning called shit that I've learned that's useless. Useless knowledge.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Please,
did you know it's illegal to own crows in the United States?
Did you know in California, the only things you can litter are chicken feathers and water?
In Detroit, you actually can't let your crocodile pee on Sundays. Your pet crocodile. Yeah, you can't let your pet crocodile pee on like high fire hydrants on Sunday or some random shit like that.
In Tennessee, you can't shoot an animal from a moving vehicle out the window unless it's a whale. In Tennessee, landlocked. And I do know this. I feel like
unless it's a whale was like the biggest middle finger from a lawmaker.
I agree. And you know what? So that's one thing we learned early on is that there's so many laws that are on the books that it's more expensive to go back and take off the books. Like you can't have a horse-drawn carriage go to town unless you have a candle horse in front of it. That I mean, that's still an illegal thing in Tennessee. You think I'm going to write somebody a ticket or put somebody cite somebody to court for that?
No.
And but where it comes into play is when
it's
you
also
start
illegal
getting
to
into
collect
like
rainwater in some places.
There you go. So I think we need a segment
Oh
on that.
yeah, because they
Stealing.
can't charge you for that.
Yeah, no, because they say it's stealing.
Wow.
Who the fuck am I stealing from? The clouds?
Wow.
They're willingly giving it to me. Yeah, no, but I also feel like some places, like I know there are some burbs and of not burbs, but like neighborhoods of Chicago proper that have it like that's illegal there. But I feel like it's because the smog and the runoff of the buildings would be too much. Like people probably wouldn't have the correct filter system in place in
Yeah.
order to
Well,
actually.
if people started, you're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. If people started drinking water out of their gutters
Oh God,
and
they would
decide
be
they're
so.
not going to turn off their water
fucking
bill
so
and they're going to
sick.
start bathing out of the rainwater and drinking it and not
But
filtering
I mean, you
it,
could set
not
a
boiling
bucket
it.
out and just catch it straight from the sky.
I mean, there's that, but yeah, you can't have like rain collection systems, which I think is ridiculous because it's like the best way of a self-watering fucking garden. But whatever.
Well, yeah.
But
I mean,
people
you
don't
can
think like
go
that.
from your-
People would just in certain areas. I feel like they would find that as they wouldn't understand like the environmental issues of it
Yeah.
with like the smog and the poison off of the buildings, and then
Yeah.
during the summer the mosquito larvae.
Yeah, that's the main thing that I was going to mention is that with standing water and the mosquitoes that come from that and the
And then
virus.
you
know,
can't
more people
put-
have died in the world.
West Nile.
More people have died in the world from malaria than anything else.
Ooh, malaria. Yep.
So, and that
That
comes
shit's
from
bad.
mosquitoes.
Yeah.
It's like we used to. I say we used to joke around about it, but when you see a law or when you see a rule or when you see something written up on the chalkboard that you're not allowed to do, it's because some idiot did it. And if we give a
Caution,
brief,
hot.
yeah, if you want to, you just go look at safety briefing in the Army or in the Marine Corps, and they're gonna tell you, listen, this weekend, they're gonna give you a whole list of things you can and can't do, but they're gonna tell you, do not get on a boat while operating power tools because somebody at some point has done that, and so they have to say it, or else they'll be accused of not. And so they'll mention all this stuff. You cannot parachute into a volcano. They have to give that safety brief in some places where there's a volcano because some idiot tried to do that. They tried to base jump into the volcano. So usually it's stay out of jail, stay out of the newspaper, stay out of the hospital, and that's the three main ones. Don't marry a stripper.
Common sense. Has never been that common.
You have to tell 18-year-old. You have to tell 18-year-old
Army
soldiers
boys
and Marines. Listen, the stripper that you're going to fall in love with tonight does not love you, and so that's just. But those are the things that come out because somebody's done something like that.
Stay away from crayons.
Yep. Marine Corps.
Yep, Marine Corps. Stay away from crayons.
Yep.
Yellow crayons specifically.
It's illegal to own a crow. Now,
That's
if you go online,
who would
they're
want
protected by the.
Hi.
They're protected by the Federal Migratory Bird Act or Bird Treaty Act or whatever it is.
I see.
And so
they
you
don't have
special
ravens around
permits.
here.
I don't think you can own a raven either.
Oh, that's such a shame. So what I really want to do is I want to befriend like the local murder and like give them treats. Shut the fuck up. I really want to. I literally follow a crow befriending page on Facebook.
Piss off all your neighbors. Just bring in more crows. Quack, quack, quack all day.
Yeah.
You know what? It's better than the fucking robins. You guys don't have. You may, Jared. You may have robins.
That's our state
Mark,
bird.
you don't. What?
No, it's not. It's a cardinal.
I was gonna say.
It's a cardinal.
No.
We have as many robins as we do cardinals.
I thought. First off, robin is Michigan, and then I thought cardinal is Indiana. It's West Virginia too.
There's only so many birds. There's 50 states. I don't.
There's
think
a lot
we
of
can
birds.
have,
There's like 20 different birds with the name of tit on it. So.
Well,
so there you go. There's another. These are things that people need to know about. All right. You know how many? Have you ever heard a crane land at your front door and then scream?
It wasn't a crane. It was a Mothman.
That's terrible. I think I would be fucking scared. I mean,
the History Channel is not going to do a documentary on the crane landing on my front lawn. They're going to do one on the Mothman.
It's terrifying. I think I would freak out. Anyways,
Well,
so if you have
let's
any random knowledge that you would like us to include in our 5-minute segment, please comment down
I
below.
like that idea.
If you have any stories that you would like us to share, or if you would like to share on your own with us, as Jared has, it's really easy to join. You can email obscuredr1@gmail.com.
It's right there the whole time.
Yep, whole time up here this way. I don't know what way I'm facing, honestly.
It's
when
on
he
my
does
side.
this. Okay. I don't know how
It's
we're
on
lined
my
up. Like
camera
right
view.
now, I'm on the far left. When this is posted, I have no idea what side I'm going to be on.
Let us know what you think about the Ariel School.
Yeah.
There's
Let
a
us
lot
know.
of opinions out there. It's interesting. We're going to promote this one, so we'll hopefully get some comments on this one.
Oh God.
But yeah, any parting thoughts? I have one. I heard today or the other day. I don't know why I never thought of this, but yeah, Noah's Ark. How'd they get the animals from all the way across the other side of the world?
They didn't. Period. End of story. It's a myth. It's a metaphor.
Okay, so check this. I believe their official answer to that, or some shit. I mean, not official, but an answer that I heard was that I guess there was only speaking about the animals that were available in like biblical times in that particular area, and wasn't like, I was like, how does that even make sense? I remember going to Sunday school. I remember this. I remember very specifically in the child's Bible that
all that is
animals.
One of those excuses you hear from people like Corbell and all them. When you come up with a logical question or explanation, then it's like, well, they throw out some bullshit thing that you just can't disprove. There's no way of proving or disproving it.
Yep.
Like
Bill Nye, the science guy, went at the people over in Kentucky that built that big ark, and he had a debate with them, and he tore them in half. And and he did it.
Bill
he tried
Nye.
to do it. It's just some of the stuff is so ridiculous. I didn't realize in Genesis it said that they took 7 pair of the clean and 1 pair of the unclean animals. So you're talking about
the cloven and the non-cloven hoofs.
Yeah. So that would have been the 1 pair of those, and then 7 pair of the other.
Mm-hmm. So 7 pairs of horses, elephant,
chimpanzees with silverback gorillas, and with
but those aren't hoofed.
So no, but I mean those are the 7 pair of. So those would fall under 7 pairs. So you would have basically 14 gorillas, 14 elephants, 14 chimpanzees, 14 tigers, lions,
and bears. Oh my! Sorry,
Ken Ham. Ken Ham's the guy's name that did the whole ark thing out there in Kentucky, and he's a piece of work. He's up there with Greer and all them. Well,
regardless of your religion, go ahead.
What's that? No,
I was just going to say, regardless of your religious beliefs, if you ever want to listen to a debate, listen to Christopher Hitchens debate people, because you want to talk about somebody who was prepared, somebody who was knowledgeable, and somebody who knew how to. I mean, he debated the entire Catholic Church in front of the entire Catholic Church. And
my hero
he's since passed away, but he was absolutely one of the best as far as teaching you how to debate and how to prepare and how to logically put together a rebuttal. Just incredible. And he has an incredible story, but he's since passed away. So nonetheless, thank you all for having me. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to coming back.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining. With that, let's start that music. Get the heck out of here. Leave your comments down below.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check back with us often for new episodes. Feel free to drop a comment, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Obscured Reality.